everyone. This is the 8th installment of our current series, Let's Talk Growth. And we have been discussing certain things that help us grow, a couple things that stunt our growth, and it's been really great. And today we are going to talk about friendships. So friendships are a really great tool and they actually can help us grow. But there's also sometimes where friendships can stunt our growth. And as young people, we tend to value very much our friendships, and we value them so much. Oftentimes during our young developmental years, we tend to put our friends above our family, and I know that can cause some drama and conflict at home. And it's all good unless those friendships aren't healthy and are doing actually the reverse of what we want in a friendship. So I want to start off by reading a proverb in chapter 22. The author tells us in verse 24 to don't befriend angry people or associate with hot-tempered people, or you will learn to be like them and endanger your soul. So those are some pretty heavy verbiage there, but it's true. If we allow unhealthy friendships to have a huge impact in our life or influence on our life, then it can actually stop us from growing and actually do some pretty contradictory things in our life and to our character. And so it's really important that we are balancing and we're reflecting and we're realizing who are our friends, who are the people that we are allowing to influence us, and why. Okay, so and one of the ways we do this, is we talked about this in another video, is through reflection and the Holy Spirit. So they help us to evaluate the relationships that we have with people and evaluate the amount of influence that we're allowing from that person. And so if we're befriending people and having friends, or we have friends that aren't in healthy situations or in healthy places in their life, and we're giving them our ear for advice when they are not in a healthy place, it can actually it can hurt us more than help us. Whereas we should then make sure that we're those type of people for if we have Christ and if we have the Holy Spirit, then we can be light to those people and those friends that are in unhealthy situations. But if we're not strong enough yet to do that as Christians, then we really, really, really need to be careful about the amount of influence that we are giving some of our friends in our life. I think about Jesus, actually, and in the Gospels when he was gaining different followers and he had his disciples, and he let these disciples into his inner circle. And the disciples came from very different backgrounds. They came from different families and different education levels. They had different jobs and they were very different. And like us, they were sinners. And Jesus got close to them. And he actually influenced them for good and they didn't influence him. The Bible said that Jesus was tempted in all the same ways that we were. And so, but he didn't sin. And so we can learn a lot from Jesus. And the Bible also said that he ate and he went to places that were dark, and he ate with sinners, and he was criticized for that. So by no means am I telling you to discard friends or friendships that with people that maybe aren't in a healthy place. Not at all. But what I am saying is please, please, please be aware of the amount of authority you're giving to those type of people in your life. The amount of maybe ear space or mental space or acceptance of advice that you're giving to people who are not in a place to really give you advice and influence you. So also, I kind of want to go on to the other side of the spectrum here, is if we have a friend that challenges us to see things from a different perspective in a positive way, and who we enjoy being around, who helps, sort of just creates this great atmosphere is hopefully also a growing Christian, and knows us, like really knows us, and can tell us when we're making mistakes, and we can swallow their advice because we trust them. Those are the type of friends that you want to surround yourself with. And it doesn't mean you have to have a ton of them. Sometimes you might only have one or two, but those are the people that you do want to open your ear to, that you do want to open a door to allowing them to be a positive influence on your life. So in Proverbs 27:17, it says, as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. And that is such a beautiful way to talk about friendship, because friends should help us grow. You know, if we're going sideways, or if we're doing something that we shouldn't, if we're making bad choices, then I hope that we would have good friends in our lives that can sit us down and go and say, hey, what's going on? Why are you doing this? This isn't you. Or I can sense something is up. Let's talk about it, and where you can sit and talk about it. Now, another thing to be aware of in our friendships is, so have you ever had a friend that actually your parents or family members didn't really like for you, and they made it known, and it was really hard to hear, and you got defensive? Does that sound familiar? It's hard because sometimes our family, they always want the best for us, and they love us. And sometimes the way that they say things, it's really hard. But they know us, and they're our family. And especially if they're our parents, and they're praying for us, and they're looking out for us, we should really pay attention to the warnings that they are giving. And if we're getting defensive, just so you know, that's another warning. Because oftentimes we're getting defensive because we know that they're right. We're getting defensive because we also have seen the negative impact of a certain relationship in our life, but we don't want to admit it because we love the person so much. And so that's something that is important to consider, and something that's important for us to reflect upon. Because by no means should we discard a friendship just because somebody's in an unhealthy place. But what we should do is we can remain friends, just like the Bible tells us that we should love everybody. We should still love that person, but we shouldn't allow them to have influence over our life. There comes a time where sometimes you do have to just change the boundaries and change the structure of the friendship. So I want you to be aware of that as well. But if you are in a place where you're strong in the Lord and you feel like you can take on a friendship with the goal of influencing them for good, then by all means go ahead. But don't do it on your own. Make sure you have a mentor or somebody who's aware of the situation, just so that they can keep you accountable. And that is pretty much what I wanted to talk about on friendships. And today I don't have a weird illustration or funny video. I could not think of one for the life of me. I think I'm stretched thin this week, but don't miss next week's video. We're always dropping new messages at 11:30 on YouTube at our channel, Reconciliados por Amor. Make sure to look for us on Instagram as well. We're always posting encouraging verses and also content that pertains to our series to help remind us that we are supposed to grow and the things that help us do it. So take care and have a wonderful week.